Hey guys, I'm DMS. This is Dylan from Dekoni. You guys might know me, you might not. I do a channel reviewing headphones. I've always been told, and I've always told people you shouldn't swap the pads on the HD600 and HD650, but Dekoni here, since they make pads, they said, well, you know what? Come on, sit down, try with us, try these pads and see what you think about it. So we have a brand new 600 here, we have your personal 600 right here, and a bunch of you guys' pads. So we're gonna go through these, I'm gonna try them all, and you know what, maybe I'll like them, maybe I won't. The big thing about the stock HD600 pads is that they wear out really fast. So this is the best case scenario for an HD600 pad when it's brand new out of the box, it's still nice and firm. As these pads wear in, the stock pads for the 600, they start rolling off in the highs and in the lows. You get more of a mid-ranged focused sound. So I guess let's break into it. Let's see how they compare, and I'll tell you guys what I think.
Sure.
Sound good?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Where do you want me to start? Since this is your whole realm.
Right, so I personally use the fenestrated, so, you know,
Okay. Is that these ones?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
I believe I made you listen to them a little bit earlier, but right now, actually, let's do the velour, because it's already on there.
Okay.
Here's the velour on my personal.
Okay. Yeah, sure, I'll plug up I got the wire here somewhere. There we go. I'll plug this guy up, give it a listen, and then I will listen to the stock one and see how they sound side by side. Let's get something with some vocals here. This song's nice. We gotta do the quick swap here. It's so hard, like A-Bing headphones. You gotta like plug and unplug.
I wish I had an A/B switch, but
yeah, or just like 2 amps side by side, you know?
yeah.
That'd be the way to do it.
You can always hook up the IFI.
Oh, there you go. All right, okay, okay. Okay, so this is the Elite Velour, right? The one that I just tried?
Right.
Okay, so right off the bat, the stock one, I kind of feel the vocal presence a bit more. The vocal presence isn't as tight in the Elite Velour, but it does feel a bit more comfortable. It's not as firm as the stock pad, and I notice it's also a little bit more rolled in the treble, but I'm getting a bit more bass out of it. So this, to me, sounds kind of more like the HD650, even though this is an HD600, which is interesting. It's kind of like an HD650, but vocals are a little bit more distant on this pad than on the stock pad for the HD600. So that's not actually bad right off the bat. For the HD650, I'd probably prefer the stock pad. For the HD600, I kind of like this sound a little bit more because it brings it closer to the sound of the HD650, which actually I think is a little bit more expensive of a headphone than this one, isn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit.
So that's not bad. Let's try the next one.
Sure. We could go deep in the low frequency content, and
Okay.
we'll switch to, I think, choice leather this time.
Okay.
Yeah. Quick swap.
Oh yeah, here, let me see one of these guys.
Sure.
Pretty soft. Good inner diameter on that. Fits my whole ear.
And remember, guys, if you're not crushing the grill when you put your earpads in, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, on the 600s, you can just like really push them in hard. So I didn't try these pads open back, but I did use these pads for the closed back HD600 mod, or the 6XX mod. And that was pretty much essential for it. When I was using the stock pad, I would lose all my bass when I had the closed back mod on it. So I recall these were like pretty much essential to make that mod work. So I'm interested to see how it sounds when it's open. I'm gonna go on and guess and say it's probably gonna be pretty warm based off the experience with the Bears.
Right.
So let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, so very warm.
Right.
Very, very, very warm. The upper treble and the upper mid-range remind me a lot of the Grado SR 325X with the stock pads on it, interestingly enough.
So are you saying the treble is a little bit more present?
No, so that's funny. On the stock pads with those Grados, the treble kind of rolls a bit, and it's a bit more like subdued. Not like muffled, but not quite as open or airy, and a bit more just like kind of taken back. The warmth is definitely at the forefront of this sound signature for sure.
Right, and that's kind of what I was assuming when I was going to give it to you.
Right.
So I think we can move on to, let's do hybrid.
Okay. Oh yeah, that I imagine is going to be interesting.
Right. Quick pad swap here.
Yeah, no, that's probably faster than doing it on the Bears.
Right, that took us a lot.
These are definitely a lot easier than pad swapping an HD800. I will say that. I don't know how they did such a good mechanism Sennheiser did for like attaching pads on the 600 and 650, and then the 800 was like really tough.
Right, so when you reattach the stock pads, it's like you gotta like tuck them in, and yeah, it's such a pain. But
yep. And technically, because I've tried some of you guys' pads too, yours are technically easier to attach than the stock HD800 pads are.
Right, because we include that like little plastic ring that's necessary for clipping into the stock.
Yeah, the stock HD800 pads have that weird like super soft plastic on them. Oh, that's not bad. I gotta skip ahead, I gotta get the trumpets. I gotta try another song. I gotta get to know these. Let's see, female vocals. Okay, stock time. Let's go back real quick. Oh, this might cover up the mic. Oops, if I did that before. Sorry. Oh, I gotta go back. That's doing some really interesting things in the treble. Okay. I didn't expect this, but stock pad I didn't like as much for female vocals as this hybrid pad.
Sure.
So the stock pad sounded a little bit sharp on the female vocal in comparison, and this kind of smoothed it out. I liked the piano more on the stock pad, but the female vocal sounded a lot more realistic on the hybrid pad. I'm gonna try another song. I'm gonna try another song with this. I'm gonna keep it going. Swap back here. What are we gonna do? That's the wrong headphone.
The mistakes.
All right, good old Kurt Cobain. More intimate vocal on the stock pad, but more realistic vocal and definitely better drums on this hybrid pad. I'm gonna set this hybrid pad to the side if we can, because like so far that's my winner so far out of these that I've heard.
Let's take a look at Choice. Suede?
Sure.
Suede? Okay. Let's see what Suede does for us.
And then we got sheepskin and
Fenestrated
sheepskin. Okay. Now, which one was this one right here again?
This was Choice Leather.
Choice Leather. So what separates that from the sheepskin? That this is the vegan option?
This is the vegan option. So
okay.
The lambskin is, you know, obviously not vegan, but then this Choice Suede is a softer leather alternative. So if you are, you know, someone who doesn't like animal product, this is our option for you. So it should sound relatively close to our regular sheepskin pads.
Okay, so these probably sound very similar to that.
Yeah, and we might be able to skip them if you want, or we can try them out. But let's pad swap.
I do always love the feeling of suede. It's just, I just want it on everything.
Yeah, it's amazing when you put on like an LCD pad and the whole thing is just engulfing you in suede.
Oh yeah, no, it's not actually your suede pad. I want to try you guys' suede pad. But I have a really old suede pad that's not manufactured anymore, and that's what I use on my LCDs. And I need to try you guys' suede pad, because like I always want to recommend to people, you know, put a suede pad on your LCDs, but I haven't tried all the models.
Sure.
Yet, so I mean, need to do that.
We'll definitely hook you up.
Okay. Well, for now, I gotta put this one. Okay. So, oh, God, I love that. I love how these feel. Everything needs to be made out of this material, man. Oh, very warm. Not as warm as the sheepskin or the Choice Leather. Well, I guess I just tried the Choice Leather, but yeah. Okay. This one and the other Choice Leather are a little bit too warm sounding for me.
Sure.
Somebody would probably like that, but it's a bit warm for my taste. I like the comfort on this one probably the most out of all of them. but subjectively, my own personal take, this one's not my favorite.
Sure. So we'll put that off to the side.
I do think if somebody was just like, they just love super, super mega warm, just like, I'm gonna wrap up in an electric blanket next to a fireplace, that would probably be for them.
All right, so this next one is sheepskin.
Okay. Which should be relatively similar, you were saying, right?
Yeah, it should be, but you're gonna let us know.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, you can tell it's like totally a different feeling.
Right, it's
Yeah,
much more rugged
Yeah.
compared to like
This
the
is like-
softness of
Right,
the choice
that's
leather.
super soft. This is like a leather jacket, like I'm getting on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
All right, so this one, actually, I do like this a bit more than the choice leather, but it is still very warm for my taste.
Right.
But I think this is a little bit less aggressively warm than that is, and the mid-range kind of stands out a bit more than that one does.
Sure. All right, moving on. So my personal favorite,
Okay.
the ones that I wear on my headphones.
Yeah, I think I heard some of these the other day, didn't I?
Yes.
Yeah. This is the one you're playing random access memories on.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'll get a little more analytical with it here and kind of try and see what's going on. And this is nice that I can compare to the stock ones. Okay. Same song. That's surprisingly close in tuning.
Right.
This is a little bit more airy on the stock pads, and then the fenestrated pad here is, it's just a bit warmer, not like warm like the choice leather was, but more so that it just has a little bit of extra oomph in the low end. I can kind of feel it more in the impact. The staging on this is not quite as forward as these, so I feel like the stock pad of the HD600 is a bit more, not wide in the sense of like lateral width, but more so they just kind of open up a little bit more. This I feel like is a bit more focused, but I'm getting vocals a little bit farther out of my head than the stock pad. So it's a change in presentation. I don't know if it's like in a good or a bad way, but it's just a different presentation overall.
Yeah, and that's my personal preference,
Yeah.
actually. Everything you just explained is usually what I look for in a headphone. So,
Right.
so like when you pad swap, you can actually, find something that you might like better with your headphones instead of just leaving it bone stock and being, susceptible to whatever the original tuning was.
So just like a speaker system in a room, the pad is essentially the room, and the headphone is like your speaker. So when you're changing the pad, you're changing the room, and there's good rooms and bad rooms and all that out there in the world. But you guys seem pretty decent at designing little rooms that go on your head. I do like these. It's not bad. I imagine you said that this is your personal pair. So how many months, days, hours do you think you got on these pads?
Burn-in time, probably like
Well, like how long do you think you've been using this pair?
those pads, that specific pads, those are mine. Probably about like 6 months I've had those on there.
Okay, so yeah, that's like they're still very, very like full. They're not collapsing.
Right, and that's part of our foam. It's it rebounds, and when it heats up, it molds to your head and ear a little bit differently. So
Right.
like when you listen to them longer, the sound signature changes just a little bit and seals a little bit better around your ear. So
Okay, so this probably has better bass impact as you use it more.
as you use it more, the heat and it brings the headphone a little bit closer to your head, so you get a little bit more presence from vocals and mid-range.
So comparatively, that's kind of the downfall of the stock HD600 pads. I do love the stock pads on the HD600, but they, 6 months in, they change a lot. They're not nearly as flat as they are metaphorically. Literally, they do actually become flat. But the sound profile of the 600 as it goes on to sort of roll off on both ends. So that's nice. It's 6 months in, and that's still very, very full, very, I don't know what the right word is. There's a lot of volume to the actual pads filling.
In response to people saying that the design of the HD600 is, you can't release pad swap, I decided to go ahead and create a velour style copy of the stock Sennheiser HD600 pads in the attempt to maintain the sound signature that everyone knows and loves. So let's see if we can achieve that with these pads.
Okay.
Yeah, so one complaint I usually get about this product is that it's hard to clip in, but really you just gotta put a little bit extra force.
I think that's most HD600 pads.
Right, so like, you know, if you're having a little bit of trouble, just put a little bit extra oomph into your, you know, snapping ability.
Which one do I have plugged up right now? Stock, so I'll swap to that one. Actually, I'll listen to stock first.
And you can kind of figure out where on the pad is not clipped in by just pulling on it.
Yeah.
But these look pretty much in.
All right, I'm gonna listen to stock and then I'll put those on.
Sure.
Man, guitar is just such a good, like, this the texture of it on the HD600, like, you can't beat that. Need a tube amp here for these. Okay. That's very close. And the mid's in treble. I think this is a little bit less warm than stock, just a hair. Mm-hmm. But the mids and treble are like super close, and the warmth is only slightly different. That is kind of surprising. You guys came really close there.
Right. I spend a lot of time product testing.
I like that it kind of maintains that airy sound. Okay, so we went through all of those.
Right. So
There was one pair that's the one.
the hybrids.
Yeah, I want to try this one more time, honestly. Sure. And I'm gonna listen to the stock again real quick before I put that on. So stock pads, same song. Okay, yeah, I do really like the hybrid pads. I like the stock ones a lot. Like I'll always love the stock ones, but the hybrids do sound really good. They don't seem like they're gonna wear out nearly as fast as the stock ones, and they have a different presentation to them. I feel like vocals sound a little bit more natural on here, which is wild because vocal clarity is already insane on the stock pads, but they do just sound really, really natural with the hybrids, especially female vocals, so I'm a big fan of that. I do like the bass impact too. All around, yeah, so I guess you can pad swap an HD600 and not get terrible results. I'm gonna eat my words there. So yeah, there you go. Thumbs up on the Dekoni hybrid pads. Pretty decent. I'm a fan of that. I'm gonna sit at home more and try those some. I feel like I need to plug them up to my tube amp, you know, like really sit back and get a feel for them. But yeah, I'm gonna pick up a pair of those for sure.
Great. So, you know, this has been a great video. I'm glad you had a decent opinion of our stuff.
You just come in here like, I hate it. This is garbage. This is garbage.
I was hoping you wouldn't say that. So, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notifications. And for all your headphone accessory needs, head on over to DekoniAudio.com. And if you'd like a pair of these ear pads, we have a separate website for our budget line that's friendly to, you know, your budget at earpadswithaz.com. So EARPADZ.com. There you go. One second. We have interruptions. Interruptions. You can add this to the funny stuff at the end.
The bloopers?
The bloopers at the end. You can't see me. John Cena.